Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. Today, we are joined by the lovely Justin. Justin, how are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm excited about this topic because why do people even want a spiritual guide? I mean, is there any point to it? And also, from your background, I mean, I know you personally, and you were already successful in the world. And sometimes I think people just, assume that you need a spiritual guide if you need some kind of help or such like. But I don't think that's true. So I wonder, can I ask you why you wanted a spiritual guide?
I think it's to do with structure. It's very easy. There's lots of information out there in the world, but really you need that sort of common structure, guidance, accountability in some cases as well, because without somebody to keep an eye on you, you can stray off track without even realizing it and think you're making sort of the best decisions in the world, when in fact it's actually completely the opposite. So for me, I think in terms of spirituality, I'd spent a lot of time in solitude, researching, with having my own practices as well. But before I found my spiritual guide, I would literally just be like, "Oh, this is the next greatest thing. I'll do that." But when I found my spiritual guide, there was somebody saying, "Well, actually, do you think that's a good idea? Have you actually thought about this?" And I think that's a really important point when you're embarking on your spiritual path, is to have reference points and somebody to keep you accountable and on track, really.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, isn't it? Because if we look into the physical world, let's call it, and we have some of the top athletes in the world, they always have a whole team of mentors around them, supporting them. Have you seen it from this angle? Have you seen it from that angle? What about if we tweak this? Same in the spiritual world, isn't it? And so in your decision in making this, because it's a big decision, having to have a spiritual guide, and then of course picking one, what would you say was important for you?
I think it'd be like any important relationship in your life. It's not just the first person that comes along. You need to be able to meet sort of many people, engage with them, have chat like the chat we're having now, and just find somebody that resonates with you. And that's a good sign that you found the person that's for you. That's not somebody giving you direction. It's just somebody giving you a nudge to make sure that you're not coming off the rails, basically.
And what type of value have you seen? Is there something that you could share with us that that you might be able to kind of, that the outside world might recognize? What kind of value has it added to your world, or maybe changes, or something that you can kind of say, oh yeah, this is where this helped me, having a spiritual guide?
Yeah, I'd say it would be focus. So it'd be very easy to learn a lot about lots of things, but not really go in depth. But having somebody to guide you on your path, it gives you that focus, and also it gets you the depth through to you. So if you're focused on a specific trajectory, then you've got far more opportunity to ask questions. I mean, that's important for a spiritual guide as well, is that you've got questions and you've got consistent answers from that person, rather than referring to 6 different books, or even worse, Google, or even worse than that, AI, to try and figure it out for yourself. You've got somebody that will consistently give you good, solid direction, nudges. As I said, it's not telling you what to do. It's just helping you keep on track, basically.
Yeah, I agree, because before I found the path and had a spiritual guide, I was one of those people who would try and find it in books, or or a class, or anything that I could try and piece together something to help me get to that next stage, that I didn't know what that next stage was, so that wasn't helpful. I just knew there was a next stage, but I didn't know, and so when I had that guidance, it was so refreshing. And I was one of those people, though, that pushed back against the, all the time, asking about a gazillion questions, saying, why do I have to do what is, I was one of those, which is kind of fun to look back. But I'm forever grateful that I could do that. Like you were saying, I could ask the questions and I could, talk it out with somebody rather than, kind of wandering around aimlessly, just trying to source that information. So they're really good points. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as well, you can't ask a question of books. It's just the contents of somebody's mind or brain on the page, and it's just giving you the information. You can't question it. And it's a really important thing is that you can question, the guidance you're being given, the direction or support you're being given. You can get answers. You don't just have it presented to you and then you just say, well, I'll move on to the next thing and it's presented to you. You can ask questions. It's an important part of life. It's been able to ask questions, and if something doesn't resonate with you, to get understanding, because you're not going to understand everything straight away. And having that two-way engagement is really important. You can be surrounded by a stack of books and all they will do is just reinforce your opinions because there's no feedback.
Yeah, thank you. That's lovely. I know it was just a quick jump on today, and because I'm really interested in this topic, so I know we'll get you back on and to talk about other topics. But it's such a fascinating one, isn't it? Why we want a spiritual guide and why they're actually useful in the everyday world. So thank you so much for sharing your insight with us. And if you want to get in touch with Justin, then you can do so through his website. Justin, what's your website?
My website's londonhealing.co.uk.
Look at that, it's an easy one. Healing.co.uk. I popped that in there. Super. So people can get in touch with you there. So thank you so much, Justin, and we will see you all very soon. Take care for now.
Thank you.